Hey everybody, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here. On today's episode of the podcast / vlog, we're going to be talking to Cindy Pope of Northology Adventures again. If you're not familiar with her, she has been on before on the channel. She runs an awesome gig up in like the Wisconsin / Upper Peninsula of Michigan type area, where she takes people on, sort of like guided overlanding tours and does a ton of events and stuff. Actually, I'm going to put a link in the description below. She is doing currently a giveaway where someone could win all next year's events for free. So you could go to all of their events for the entire year free of charge, which is awesome. So I'm going to put a link to that down below as well. But today we're just kind of chatting with Cindy. So we're going to talk through her new van that she got. So she swapped out her Jeep that she's had forever for a van. So she's going van life, I guess. We're going to talk through a bunch of different people that she's been interacting with and people that she's been meeting up with. Some of the fun things that we've gotten to do together. A little bit about KOAR, which was this awesome overlanding get together up in Copper Harbor in Michigan that I went to in September. It was amazing. So if you're new to the channel, again, my name is Fletch. We're going to talk about overlanding stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about Xterras. We're probably going to talk about a lot about do-it-yourself mods, things like that to customize your vehicle, and also gear reviews and trip reports and things like that. So if any of that sounds like something you're interested in, click that subscribe button. Love to have you as part of the channel. Also, there are links in the description below to Facebook, Instagram, and the podcast, or if you're listening on the podcast, YouTube. Just hang out wherever you want, right? I'd love to chat with you guys. All right, but before we dive into the interview with Cindy, I did just want to really briefly touch on my featured partners, one of which is Cindy, by the way, Northology. They put out an amazing overlanding magazine every month too, and it's totally free. So if you click through that link below, you can go to her website, you can sign up for that, and you can get it every month. It's awesome. Like, it's a beautiful thing that she does just out of the goodness of her heart and her desire and love of, all things outdoors. So definitely check that out. Also, Overland Addict, great shop located in Missouri. They sell a ton of overlanding stuff. So check them out as well. Their service is amazing. There's just a great dude. Chad is the guy that runs that, and he's amazing. Last US Bags, they sell custom type overland bags. And when I say custom, I don't mean like made to order, but I mean like bags specifically engineered for overlanders, people looking for tool rolls or, trasharoo style like trash bags or, anything like that. Anything to do with overlanding that's bags is Last US Bags. So check them out in the description below as well. And then, of course, like I kind of mentioned or should have mentioned, More Expo, which is coming up in February. Cindy will be at it. I will be at it. There's going to be a ton of people that are going to be at this thing, and it is going to be amazing. So check the link in the description below. Buy your tickets now before it's too late, because when you get there in February, I heard last year there were lines at the door for people waiting to buy tickets. So if you just buy them online right now, then it saves you that time. So anyways, that was it. Now let's dive into the interview with Cindy. All right, so as I just mentioned in the intro, today we have Cindy Pope, Northology Adventures, also in charge of KOAR, also has an awesome van, also has so many things I can't even keep track. So, but what do you want to talk about, Cindy? This is just an open forum. We're just having a conversation tonight.
Well, I want to ask you.
Oh, God, I'm not supposed to be interviewed. You are being interviewed.
That's okay. This is part of the interview. Did you see any pictures of a van in a mud puddle over the last few days?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I didn't laugh or anything.
Good. So,
yes, no, I saw that.
You can take the girl out of the Jeep, but you can't take the Jeep out of the girl.
It's probably a hard change to make, to go from a, loaded up Jeep to a van.
Well, yeah. And what we were doing, it was the Wisconsin Overland Christmas tree hunt, which I hosted last year, and we had 28 inches of snow, and I had the Jeep, and we had a blast.
Sounds
and
awesome.
It was actually awful because there were so many trees down from the summer storm that half of the crew ended up buying chainsaws for this year. Yeah. So but so I'm just like tooling around in these fire lanes, and I have a couple of friends along. Chris and Jill, they do this 1941 Adventures on Instagram, and I've been in a Jeep group with them, and Chris knows the area well. Chris and Jill are awesome behind the wheel. They have this really nice Jeep jail. And some of these more built rigs, I thought maybe we'd split the group, but we decided to all go out together. But at some point, Chris said, hey, meet me over here and I'll take these guys over here and, we'll meet up and continue on.
Yeah.
And so they did. And then at one point after that, I'm like, why don't we just go show them what the pipeline's like? So we go over there and there's one big puddle before you get to it. I wasn't going to do anything on the pipeline itself, but I've been over that puddle 50 or 100 times. And in a Jeep though. But I thought, the water's low. Chris said, oh, hard bottom. Everybody walked right through. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. And I got about 2/3 of the way in and so.
Yeah. I saw that picture and I was like, uh-oh. I was like, she's not trying to hide that at all.
Why would I? I mean,
stuff happens.
Stuff happens.
I haven't looked. Is the van's 4-wheel drive, isn't it?
No, it's not. If it was 4-wheel drive.
Well, yeah, no wonder.
Dude, if it was 4-wheel drive, I would have had no problem.
I just assumed that you were 4-wheel drive.
No, it's a 2-wheel drive van. We're going to lock the rear. Okay. I don't have the coin for a 4x4 van. They are in good shape. They are ridiculously expensive, and conversions are ridiculously expensive. And this is my thought on this. The 10% of the places I can't go to now because it's 4-wheel drive or I would need it. Think about it. Think about especially up in the Keweenaw. Those places are way too tight for a van. Yeah, that's true. So in essence, going from the Jeep to the van, the reason I did it was because my husband's really getting into the camping lately, and the dogs have to be in that equation then at that time, because we can't just leave them home alone. Yeah. And we decided we wanted to travel more than we wanted to wheel. Yeah. And I just love that everybody takes that and and judges you morally on that. I don't care. I don't have anything to prove. I've done enough of that. Yeah. And I think it's a good change for us. Yeah. And my dad has a Jeep I can borrow if I really need to scratch the itch. And down the road, you never know. We might just get a TJ and tow it. Yeah. Yeah, if we really need to do something like that. So anyway, that's the big transformation in my life lately. Is, I'll tell you what, though, it's way more comfortable sleeping in the back of a van than a Jeep. I bet. Yeah. I can't even fit in my Xterra. Before I put the drawer system in, like I'm 6'2" and it's like about 4 inches shorter than that. So I was sleeping diagonally with like my legs up, and it was just every morning. Now, see, I have a friend. His name is Ben, and he's probably about 6'8", and he sleeps in his Xterra. He has to like fold his legs up and sleep on his side or something. There's no way. Well, unless I take that back, unless he has the off-road trim where the front passenger seat folds flat, and he has some sort of like an action packer or something that fills that space, or a platform or something, then you could do it. You could do it easy then. But there was only one trim of Xterra that did that. So yeah, like my seat does not fold flat. It just folds like this. But in the off-road trim, they specifically redesigned the hinges so that it would lay flat, so you could make a platform or like sleep in it. Okay, yeah, maybe that's possibly what he has. I'm not sure, but 6'8" big. He's tall. He's a tall dude. Yeah. So, but yeah. So anyway, let me think. What else is going on? Well, of course, the magazine that's going nicely. The magazine's awesome. Oh, thank you. I mean, we have a lot of great, I was so excited because one of the people that contributed said after they shared the magazine, they had some offers to write for other publications. Oh, nice. So that was really cool. Yeah. I'm calling myself an author now, thanks to you. So just so you know. Well, that's okay. I mean, it's not a lie. It's true though. Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, that's fun. We had the gift guide. I saw you had one too. Yeah. Mine was better. Mine was just a really long ramble about different pieces of gear. And then I watched it afterwards and I'm like, that was like 40 minutes long. But it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. People seem to like it. It gets an okay amount of views, but
then I just feel bad because I'm like, God, I should put in more time to like really like edit this up and do B-roll of all the different pieces of gear. And it's like, I'd have to spend a week I'd have to spend 20, 30 hours on that thing, you know? So
yeah, I think people just don't get how much editing, how much time it takes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Crazy. I make a 2-minute video and it takes me like a day. Yeah. A whole freaking day.
Yeah. Well, and the thing, I've been doing it for a year now, and I feel like I have a pretty good grip on like my flow of editing. Like, I don't mind the editing piece of it so much, but what's hard for me is like posting it and writing all the stuff and coming up with the tags and like that. It almost takes me as long to do like to actually get it onto YouTube as it does to like edit the video. Because I'm just like, I have to really think through this and like what makes the most sense and what are people going to be interested in like actually looking at. Because I just want to put the first thing that comes to my mind, which is often garbage, like Xterra mods. And then it's like, no one's going to find that. But if you say like $100 roof rack, people are like, ooh, $100. Ooh, I'll click on that. It sucks. Doing research.
I like hashtag often garbage.
Often garbage. Yep. That is literally the definition of my life.
All right. Yeah, I don't think so. So anyway, yeah. So, and then like I've got this cool like contest going on the Instagram and the Facebook.
Yeah.
For the Win a Year of Adventures.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll
post a link to that in the description of this video.
Yeah, please do, because it's going to be so cool. Somebody's going to win. They can come to all of our adventure events in 2021. Oh, why did
next year, right?
2021. And our schedule will release then on New Year's Day, along with our winner will be announced.
Awesome. Am I eligible for this, or?
Everybody is eligible for this. Okay. So
I need to go relook at the rules. I already follow you everywhere, but
right. But yeah, basically, we'll have roughly 6 events to choose from, and KOAR will be one of them.
Nice.
So that's pretty neat. So yeah, they can come to every event, and I encourage them to bring a friend.
Yeah, nice.
Sure. But yeah, that's really fun, and I'm excited for that. So
yeah.
So that our events, we're getting those together for next year. I already have 3 of them in writing. I have 3 winter events, 1 each in January, February, and March.
Nice.
It's just basically a winter event where we're doing rustic cabins. There is a little bit of camping area if you prefer, and we'll do we'll do some snowshoeing and things like that.
That's cool.
Up in Copper Harbor. Yeah, I think a moonlight snowshoe is going to be on the docket, because it's like moonlight by 6 p.m.
Yeah, right.
It's dark.
Yeah.
So, and lots of stuff awesome. Like that. Yeah. And what else was I had a whole thing written down, but I had it written down on my phone, and I'm on my phone using your phone. So I'm trying to remember what it was, but I'm
excited about KOAR for next year for sure.
I am too.
I can't wait. It was so good this year. Like, I don't even think people understand, like, like they all, and I haven't been to like Expo West or Expo East, but I watch videos, right? Like all of us watch those YouTube videos and stuff. And those kind of seem like you're in a giant field, oftentimes muddy, and just a muddy open field with no like actual challenge and no trails. And it's just like you park and show off your rig and look at other people's parked rigs and then like buy shit. And that's it.
I was at the muddiest one, and yeah. You kind of hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. Like, I loved KOAR because it was like, yes, I had a place to go back to at the end of the day, which was also awesome, right? Like, not only was it not a field or like a hotel or something boring, it was an awesome, awesome place with great bathrooms, by the way. An awesome place. But like the trails were awesome. The town was awesome. It was just, it was probably, I'm trying to think like of anything else, right? Like before overlanding, we would go on trips and stuff and you drive for 14 hours and you would hate it. Because it's like, you're just on the highway and you're just going to this place, and then you get there and then it's kind of like over before you know it, and you're like, Disney World was okay, right? Like but it doesn't like stick with you. But like there's just something magical about like the people and the place, and you know what I mean? Like sounds wishy, kind of like mushy, but like it really was like it literally was like life changing, like it was like I hit this overlanding thing because of YouTube, and I didn't know if I thought it fit me pretty well, but once I hit KOAR I was like, this is it, this is what I want to do, like this is it.
Yeah, you get it, man. I mean,
yeah,
seriously, awesome. Just exploring northern Wisconsin and the UP is amazing, and I think the Keweenaw is one of the most beautiful places up there. And like you said, everything is awesome. There's so much fun, there's so much history. There's I love that you can go wander around abandoned mines, and they're not like fenced off, or you can just like go through history at your own pace. And the more I go up there, the more I am interested in the history, and I just it's so pretty. And just that the whole Trails End experience too, with that
awesome
the campsites and everything. I'm super excited about next year. I think we found a really great base camp. Not that North Winds was not a great base camp, but this fits us to a T, and the John and Donica at Trails End are super pumped to have us there. Awesome. And I'm super pumped.
Hopefully everybody was behaved.
I asked. I think so. I think it's a good crowd. I think just the Overland people, they're about most of them are about the tread lightly.
Yeah.
And they understand that these places exist and that we should treasure them and respect them because we want to go back.
Right.
And speaking of which, there are trash containers now at High Rock Bay, put in there by the Keweenaw Outdoor Recreation Coalition, KORC.
Yeah.
I think everybody should go look up KORC right now. Put a link in the description.
Yes, I will do that for you.
And check it out. They're trying to preserve land for access for all. And they include motorized sports, not just skiing or biking or hiking. It's ATV, snowmobiles, off-road.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
Awesome.
Also exciting.
A while ago.
Remember the beautiful bathrooms at Trails End?
I do remember those, yes. Very stunning.
There's a rumor that you might see one of those out at High Rock.
Really? That's almost too fancy. It's almost too fancy. So are they just going to go out there and build one?
I believe it's in the works.
That's cool.
Don't quote me on it. Just a rumor, folks. You won't have to record. Step in that stuff in the woods anymore, hopefully.
Yeah, that was the bad thing, right? Like when we were up there, I was like wandered out into the woods with my little bucket, and I was like, oh, there's toilet paper everywhere, you jerks. Like
I know, it's horrible. So yeah, hopefully that alleviates or relieves some of the problem. Sorry
I'm
about
trying to
that.
think, my brain is spinning and I'm blank. I can't think of any more toilet jokes to come back at you with, but I'm really sad about it. Oh, toilet humor is the best. That would be cool. I'm excited about that because it was like literally that first night. I was like a little puppy on Jeremiah's coattails, and I'm like, where are you going? I'll go with you. And we went up there, and like we seriously pulled out onto the beach, and I'm like, wait, we're allowed to camp here? And he was like, yeah, back up right there. I backed up into the woods with like the back of my truck open to the lake. And it was the coolest thing. I was like, this is amazing. Like I have to come and just like, and then to see his pictures later of these other crazy like rock beaches and stuff that they went to, he and Theo, I'm like, you guys are killing me, man. Like I wish I could have stuck around for like another week and hung out. Maybe next year I can stay for like 2 weeks or something. That would be sweet. As long as I can hit up a shower a couple of times during like a 2-week trip. Could be okay.
Well, you can go to Fort Wilkins. They have showers there. I think you can pay for them. I mean, and then, you know, just a little plug here for the gear bunker. They had that Julka shower. Yeah. That was awesome.
I've had multiple people approach me and say, why don't you have a heated shower? Why don't you have it? I'm just like, dude, like, I would love to, but they're pretty expensive. And it's like, I don't know how I feel about showering in the woods, especially in the winter, which is primarily when I go. Like, that seems terrible.
Okay. In the woods, in the winter, you sweat a lot less anyway. Yeah. You need to bathe less.
Right.
And winter trips, for me at least, are usually shorter.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, I camped on a cliff in a thunderstorm. Jeez. And we all got drenched, and it was hot and sticky and gross. Ugh. And I had my little awning tent off of the back of the Jeep, and it had filled with water. It was just the worst spot to put it.
Yeah.
And I was standing there, you know, in muddy water, looking in the back of my Jeep, all stinky and sweaty and drenched. Oh, no. Like, you know, I just want to take a shower right now. And I had one of those little jerry cans with the faucet on it that plugs into your 12-volt outlet.
Okay.
I pulled that to the back of the Jeep and just took a shower, dried myself off, and crawled into a Jeep warm and dry and clean.
That's nice.
And comfy.
I thought you were going to say that the awning like burst and soaked you, and that was the shower.
No,
that's where I thought you were going with it.
You're an evil man.
I was like, that sounds terrible. I wouldn't want that for anyone.
No. So think about it. If you had a nice, warm, hot shower, how much better that would be.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get cold when you turn it off for a second, but I guess it's still better than being disgusting or... I mean, you're cold anyways. It doesn't really matter, right? Like,
right.
It's not like you're warm ever. So.
Right.
I don't know. I also worry because like I have so much crap. Like I also want to get like, I'm running a propane heater now, which I think is a mistake, but it was cheap.
Bingo. I mean, same girl.
Yeah. So I have a 20-pound tank I've been taking with me on the last couple trips, just because then I can hook it up to the grill and I can hook it up to the, you know, to the heater, and like I've just got so much propane. But like I don't know, I just feel like I have so much crap now that I'm like, am I gonna have a shower too and like all this? I don't know, maybe I can use Unistrut to build like a mount on the side of the truck or something and like mount it on the side, keep it outside.
Yeah, and then just like have a swing out like shower curtain or something.
Yeah, or just one of those, they sell those like pop-up tenty things with no roof for showering. Like I'd use one of those.
Yeah,
be fine.
Yeah, I think for the van, we're going to do something out the back doors.
That's cool.
I saw this, I followed this one couple. They have like a little waterproof barrier that goes down over the back of the open van, and the doors form part of your shower stall. And then across the back, there's a shower curtain. So that might be cool.
I was going to say, are you obsessed with van life videos now? Because I'm obsessed with them and I don't have a van.
Kind of. I don't have I don't watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
But I think I'll be watching more now because I'm totally unfamiliar with van life. Even though, strangely enough, growing up as a child, my dad would get these 63 Econoline vans from my mom's uncle after they had 250,000 miles and were rusted through. We were poor, man, and my uncle would give my dad these vans and he'd fix them up and we'd go traveling all over and go camping. So up and through early high school, we were camping in vans and stuff, but I didn't pay any attention. And back then people weren't overlanding, they were just camping.
Right.
But now I, really need to, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? For this past weekend, we did our maiden voyage camping, and we just threw a cheap used marketplace futon in the back and slept on that.
That's cool.
And brought an electric heater because we were camping somewhere where there was power.
Nice.
And threw the dog kennel in and all of our junk and had a great time.
Great.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, I think everybody thinks that, like, all my friends definitely think that, like, winter camping especially means you're just miserable. And it's like, you're literally like laying on the snow, like with your clothes on. Like, I think that's what they think it is. And I'm like, overlanding's pretty bougie and glampy, right? Like you can be totally comfortable.
That's
Yeah.
We'll see how this propane heater does. That was my thought with that. But now the more that I watch videos and like talk to people, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be taking a shower in the tent with condensation because of this propane
Yeah.
heater.
See, and that's, yeah, I've got the little, was the Mr. Buddy, the one
heater?
that you can use in your tent.
Yep.
And we use that in our awning room. And we did it in October, and the moisture it puts out is just horrible. Plus, from the outside, the tent walls were wet, and I'm done with propane. Anybody wants them in little Mr. Buddy, I'll give it to you. So
I just bought one.
oh,
I bought
no.
the big one too.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to return it or do something.
We were talking about those diesel heaters. I know several people that have them or have built them.
Yeah.
And get a cheap $100 Chinese knockoff.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to do it.
That's what I should have done. I looked at it and I was like, okay, well, I can get the Mr. Buddy. The big Mr. Buddy heater went on sale for like $80. And I was like, yeah. And I can run off propane. I like the propane thing, right? Like I like that I have propane for my stove and I could run the heater off of it. And so I could just take one big tank, like a 5-gallon or 5-pound or a 20-pound.
Yeah.
But then the more that I watch stuff, I'm just like, I haven't even used this thing yet, but I threw away the box, of course. I could maybe tell Amazon that it was defective or something. Send it back. But yeah, I think I need a diesel heater. God damn it.
Yeah. And our fall adventure event at True North Outpost, Jeremiah was there, and our friend Adam brought his diesel heater over to Jeremiah's setup. Of course, he's got the rugged bound 270 with the sides and the penthouse. The first night we used our little propane fire pit and we broke. The second night, Adam brought his diesel heater in. Of course, he sets it up outside, sets the little duct up under the awning,
so nice,
flap or whatever you call it, the side. And we were wonderfully warm. It was a few degrees warmer that night, and it's a dry heat. It's not like that moisture-filled propane.
Dang it.
Condensation. I'm so sorry.
I got to return some stuff.
I got one too. So put it on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody will buy it.
I kind of thought I might keep it. I mean, it was only $80. I mean, $80 is $80, but it's like.
Is your garage heated?
Yeah, well, no, my garage is not heated, but I have one of those 10,000 BTUs, like big jet thingamajiggies that run off propane for that because I work on the vehicles a lot in the winter. Yeah. But like, I could see still seeing value in the propane heater for exactly what you said, right? Like putting it next to me, like under my awning when I get that OVS awning and put it out. Like, even if I don't have walls, just to have it right beside me blowing on me would make it the winter pretty nice, right? Like, and I go camping a lot solo in the winter. So even just having it just screw it. If it's not worth anything to put in the tent, I don't care if it sits in some snow or something and even gets a little rusty over a few years and just sits beside me and keeps me warm in my camp chair, like I can find some uses for it, I guess.
Right. Yeah. What's $80? Come on, dude.
Yeah. It's not like it all adds up or anything, So.
Yep. Other things I got going on, I can't thank my advertisers enough, the supporters. Excuse me. I'm not at my office is being like re-officed or something. So I'm just sitting on the guest bed.
You're fine. You got a sweet background going on there.
Well, this is a nice quilt that my husband's aunt made us.
That's nice.
And I think there's some snowshoes and a deer skull up there somewhere.
Yeah. You're like super overlandy right now. More than me.
For my Land Rover friends.
Nice.
Actually, that's Swiss. I thought it was German. I don't know. I don't know anything about Land Rovers. What am I talking about? Either. They're probably freaking British. I don't know. I just lost all
they are. Yeah.
I was just saying, pull my Overland card. I'm from the Jeep.
I've had an unhealthy obsession with Land Rovers for I've wanted a Discovery for 15 years. But then every person I know that has one is like, it's the best truck I've ever had. I love it. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've heard they're unreliable. And they're like, oh yeah, it's super unreliable. It never runs. But when it does, it's so good. And it's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, but I go places and I can't wake up in the middle of nowhere with a dead truck. That's not okay.
Right. There were 3 Land Rovers at the Wisconsin Overland Christmas tree hunt.
Nice.
A couple of LR4s and an LR3.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're super capable, right? Like I saw a brand new, like super fancy Discovery or something today. And I was like, ha ha ha. And I'm in my big lifted, ridiculous Xterra with a solar panel on the hood. And I'm like, you spent 120 grand on your truck or whatever. But then I'm like, you know what though? He could probably outwheel me. Like honestly, he'd hit his little air suspension, lift it up and lock everything up and just go right up something. And I'd be getting stuck behind him.
When it's running.
Right. When it's running. Yeah. I mean, you know.
Oh, I did remember something I needed to talk about.
Okay.
So, okay. I don't know about where you come from in Indiana, but Northern Illinois. What's that?
Northeast side of Indy.
Northeast side of Indy. Yeah. Northern Illinois is pretty flat.
Yeah.
And there's not a heck of a lot to do here. There's not a lot of off-road.
Yeah.
So Maurice from he admins the Illinois Overlanders group was asking about, oh, what else can we do? Should we do day trips or should we do this or that? A lot of people can't commit a whole weekend.
Right.
So I thought, well, shoot, I found this Gravel Maps app and looked over towards the driftless area of northwestern Illinois. Yeah. And I planned a route and scouted it from here to Galena and back.
Nice.
And so I made a stupid name for it and stickers, and 40 freaking rigs showed up.
Oh, jeez.
And we had a great time, though. We could only complete half of the route. We got to Galena about 4:30.
Nice.
And it was probably going to get dark soon. And I was like, you know, I would really like to see the countryside that we're going to travel through because it's very pretty.
Right.
So we called it a day. Some of the attendees did actually go and do the second part of it in the evening.
Nice.
But whew, boy, I've never had 40 or 39 rigs behind me in a convoy before, going through the city with stop and go lights and left turns and right turns. But man, I'll tell you what, I got shout out to Mark and Mary from Wanderlost Overland.
Great people, yeah.
The link in the comments.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
And Midland Radio, link in the comments.
Just direct people to Overland USA.
Right. And Gaia GPS, please
give
check
me your
my link
discount link and I'll put it in my video.
Boy, that talk about using your tools, man. I put them and my brother at the rear. I had Davidus Sangaila in the middle. He had a CB and a GMRS to help kind of translate between the two languages. Right. And at one point, oh, this is so cool. Okay. So you got to come off of this. We come off of this mound out in the northwest. The driftless area has these mounds, and you take a left and then a right, and then it turns around on this another mound. And I turn as I'm coming around on this mound, and I look back, and I can see all the cars still on before the turn, and then before the turn before that. And Mark comes over the radio. He's like, looking at the map right now, he goes, I think our convoy is like 2 miles long.
Jeez. Yeah, I bet.
But we kept it all together, and I was super nervous to start off with, but boy, it ended up working really well. Yeah. And I do think we might split it into two groups, because we're doing the second part, and this is the really cool thing. We're doing the second part December 19th. We're meeting at the Norwegian, which is a restaurant my husband works at.
Nice.
That has recently had to transform from a restaurant to a market because of COVID restrictions.
Right. Yep.
So we're happy to go and buy coffee and pastries there in the morning. But also somebody suggested, why don't we do some sort of Toys for Tots thing since it's so close to Christmas?
Yep.
We're actually going to be collecting donations for an organization in Rockford called Miss Carly's. And please, we'll put the link in there too.
Yeah, sure.
This is a family, a mom and a dad and their kids, that daily open their front door and hand out sack lunches to hundreds of hungry people. They collect donations for people starting off their new lives, trafficked women, battered and abused people. They get them into treatment, into homes, and help them find jobs. They get them cell phones. It's just an amazing organization.
That's awesome, yeah.
So we're going to collect for them, drop that stuff off, come back and take off and do this second part of this. We called it, I don't know how to pronounce it in Norwegian. I put gravel road trip into Google Translate and set it to Norwegian. Right. I know, maybe it says like, gray sausages, but that's in the Lucky Charms.
The Norwegians are going to be mad.
Yes.
I have a huge Norwegian following, just so you know.
Oh,
no, I'm just
kidding. Anybody wants to come, go to Illinois Overland. It's called Grus Biltour. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I saw that you posted that, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah, so I don't know. We're just having fun with it because, think about all of the awesome historical adventurers and explorers that were Norwegian.
Sure.
Roald Amundsen and, all the Vikings and all that good stuff. So it just kind of all tied in. It just cool. made me all happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's exciting stuff. Yeah, I'm impressed with the size of your convoy because the first time I ever went winter overlanding, we went to Manistee National Park. And like the guy that organized it was the first guy I ever went on an overlanding trip with. And we had never met. Like we met in the woods in Hoosier National Forest. I'm like, hi, I'm Jason. Nice to meet you. Please don't murder me. And then he arranged this thing. And I talked to him beforehand. I was like, yep, I'm definitely coming. I was like, how many people do you think are coming? He's like 6 to 8. He was like, so it's going to be a little big, but we'll make do. And I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Like 6 to 8 is good. And we showed up and there were like 26 rigs. Like everyone had said, no, we can't make it. And then like at the last minute, everyone just didn't even tell anyone. They just all showed up. And
that'll happen.
We split into 2 groups for that size. And it was crazy. So I can't imagine 40.
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, and I didn't lead this convoy, but the Wisconsin Jeep Owners Group, a few years ago, it was a Bob Beltazor, did a trail ride. And I went, and I think there was about 17 vehicles. Okay. And that wasn't too bad.
Sure.
He couldn't do it again, so I tried organizing one, and I asked Larry Mertz to lead the ride, and sure, he said, and about 30 vehicles showed up. And I thought, ooh, but he's leading the ride, I'm just in the middle. Right. I just planned the Facebook events. I didn't have anything to do with the ride. Mm-hmm. And then, I said, let's do one more, Larry, this winter before the pipeline closes. 70 freaking vehicles showed up to the gas station.
Oh my God.
And about 20 more showed up, saw the whole group, and turned around and left.
Yeah.
And so basically that day there was a parking lot in the woods.
Wow.
And
yeah, I'm picturing like Cliff Mine Trail with that many. Like, it would just
that won't happen. Yeah.
2 days to get up there.
Well, this was up in the Nicolay. It worked out, but we said to ourselves then, hey, let's like spread this out over a weekend. Let's break these groups up. And so that's how Jeep
register.
Yeah. That's how Jeep Camp was born. So
jeez, that's crazy. Yeah, 70. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I still just remember that like 20 rate. And I'm like, I was just like looking in my mirror, and like at one point somebody was going too fast and it was icy, and then they're off the road, and we were just like, it was dangerous. With 20 rigs, it was dangerous. And I was just like, when I heard 40, I'm like, oh my God. That seems
wow. Yeah, it was pretty dry that day, so there were no conditions we had to worry about. But yeah, it's a little stressful when you hear on the radio, oh, we got stopped at the stop sign, or we're still back here 3 miles away.
You lost us, yeah.
Yeah. But no, it worked out great, like I said, because of the tools we had. Yeah. And it was funny too, because like people are just dying to get out. Think about this. All we did was drive on gravel roads between cow fields and some woods, and over under a couple of cool bridges.
Right.
But people just are happy to get out. They're happy to meet other people. They're happy to get out in their rig. They're happy to go see the countryside and just do something different and not sit at home.
And it's pretty safe too, right? Like you're all in your own rigs and stuff. So like you're separated, and
Oh, think about how much overlanding is like the perfect COVID activity.
Social distancing built in.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So that was the interview with Cindy. As always, she's just a ton of fun. And she's just amazing, right? Like she does so many cool things just out of the goodness of her heart. She's trying to, you know, keep trails open and clean up things and organize trail runs for people that are bored. And a lot of the time she doesn't even charge any money for it. She just literally does it because she likes to get out and she wants to help people get into overlanding. So again, definitely check her out via the links in the description. Check out everybody that we talked about too. I'm going to put links to as many of them as I possibly can down below. But all the people she mentioned in this episode are awesome too. And they have awesome businesses or websites or, you know, whatever. So definitely check them out down below as well. But again, thanks for stopping by. If you don't already, click those buttons down below. Click those links to go to Facebook, go to Instagram, subscribe over there, and join the conversation. I'd love to chat with you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.